Hello, friends. Today I've brought a fantastic movie for all of you. You'll all love this movie, and I request that you please watch the movie till the end, like the video, and subscribe to the channel.
At the beginning of the story, it is told that 5 years after an asteroid hit the Earth, 75% of the world's population was wiped out. Pieces of the asteroid were still present in the environment. The air became polluted, and the remaining radiation was still showing its effects. Things like earthquakes and storms became common on Earth. Humans had no choice but to live in bunkers. Now we see a man named John who lives with his family in a bunker in Greenland. He works as an engineer, but is also a scout, which means he has to wear a special suit and sometimes go out of the bunker to check the conditions of the world. One day, he saw a crack opened in the ground, and he realized that these cracks were gradually getting bigger. Then John went to the beach, and there he saw some lifeboats and a broken ship. First, he checked every lifeboat, but he didn't find anything useful in any of them. So then he entered the ship, and there he found some useful things which he kept with him. Going further inside, he saw many dead bodies. While searching for things, John also found a notebook in which a beautiful flower was kept. John kept that notebook with him too. At that very moment, he received a warning on the radio from the bunker that a very dangerous storm was coming. John started running with all his strength because the storm started coming after him at a very fast speed. Luckily, John jumped over the gate and entered the bunker at the right time and closed the gate before the storm could enter. After saving himself, John sat down in shock. He started thinking about how close to death he was. After this, John decided to meet his therapist and started talking about the strange condition of the world. The therapist said that everyone's condition is the same. People are just showing that everything is fine. That's why he told John, "Why are you worrying? You have something in your hands. Spend as much time as possible with your family. Live freely." Meanwhile, John's wife, Allison, was sitting in another bunker having a meeting with the leaders, where everyone was talking about how food and drink items were running out. Then, Allison received a message which said that John had returned safe and sound. In the same meeting, Dr. Amina gave information received from scientists, which she had received from other bunkers. It was about the craters formed by the asteroid. The size and depth of these craters would protect them from the storm, and it was possible that the poisonous air wouldn't harm them much either. That's why those places could be good for living. But Adam reminded that these craters are in France, and there is fighting going on all over Europe. Suddenly, an earthquake came, and the entire bunker started shaking, but everyone was just waiting for when the earthquake would stop, and then got back to their work as if it was a completely normal thing. Someone in the meeting started saying that these earthquakes are becoming more intense. Then Allison reminded everyone that some people are still stuck outside. We have to help them too. But Adam started saying that we don't have things to accommodate more people, and also who knows what kind of diseases they will bring. That's why this matter should be dropped. But Allison started saying that voting will tell what people want. Hands were raised and most people supported Allison. That's why it was decided that tomorrow a vehicle that runs on ice would be sent. Later, when John was fixing the bunker's pipes, Allison saw her son Nathan outside. She got very angry about this, saying, "You'll get sick, come inside quickly." Inside, in his room, Nathan was using a torch to shine light through the holes made in his bedsheet, which created stars on the wall above, and he felt like he was looking at the sky. The next day, John saw some cracks on the bunker walls.
Meanwhile, a vehicle sent from the bunker went outside and came back after rescuing some helpless people. While coming back, the team called the bunker and asked for permission for a second round because due to lack of space, they had to leave some people behind. But Adam immediately refused, reminding that, "Where do we have so much space and food, man? You keep collecting people." At that very moment, another earthquake came and the contact with the vehicle was lost. The bunker started shaking more intensely than before, causing people and things both to start falling. And then suddenly, many parts of the ceiling broke badly, due to which many people got trapped, and they also got seriously injured. Some stones fell on John's head, and due to the dust, his cough, which had been going on for many days, increased even more, but one of his friends helped him get out of there. Meanwhile, all the alarms went off, and the bunker started shaking again. The sound of an explosion came from some distance. John ran towards the office so he could save Allison. Allison had been quite injured. John quickly lifted her up, and both set out to find their son. They found Nathan in his room wearing a mask, but still he was having difficulty breathing. John told his family to pack things as quickly as possible. Till then, I'll bring more masks so they could leave this bunker." All the people were running here and there in panic, but John still reached the lockers and brought masks, after which Nathan started feeling a bit better and the family prepared to get out. When the bunker's shaking and trembling stopped, the walls also started breaking. A worried crowd gathered on the way outside, but the gate was only half open and it was not possible to get out through this door. So John took his family towards the back way. Unfortunately, the back way was also broken. Because there was no other way, John told his family to crawl forward. Somehow, they reached near the door, and John pressed the button of the door. But due to the heavy engine, the bunker broke even worse. But at least they got outside safe and sound. There was heavy chaos outside too. When explosions of water started happening in the ground, they lost Nathan and ran back to find him. They saw that Nathan was helping Amina, who had fallen down. They took Amina with them too and started running towards the beach. Here, the surviving people were trying to save their lives by getting on boats. So many people gathered that one boat even capsized, after which all those people fell into the water. Some anxious and desperate people started trying to snatch Adam's mask, taking advantage of this opportunity, so Allison and John ran to save him. But then a man pounced on John and snatched his mask, but still, somehow, he and Allison dragged Adam to the shore. Now there was only one boat left, so John started quickly showing his family and some people the way to get on it. Allison wanted to save as many people as they could, but the captain said there will be too much weight, the boat will sink. So out of compulsion, they had to close the door right in people's faces. The people standing outside clung to the boat until the boat started moving. At that very moment, a very big wave came in front and hit the beach, taking those people along with it. John's boat also bounced around hard in that wave, but somehow the captain kept the boat steady and they continued moving forward safely. After a while, John used a device to confirm that the air quality here is fine. That's why they can take off their masks. Then everyone sat down to talk about where they should go, and because Iceland had finished, they decided that their nearest destination is England. A few hours later, the boat stopped working, but then John checked the engine and fixed it so they could continue their journey again. When it became night, Nathan became very happy because finally he got to see the stars. A few days later, the boat stopped again because the oil in it had run out. Now no one had any way out.
So they left the boat at the mercy of the sea waves, hoping they would take them somewhere. After quite a long wait, the boat finally reached land. Everyone looked outside and were shocked when they found out that they are in Liverpool. John confirmed with his device that the air here is clean, but now they would have to find a place to stay as soon as possible. But when they looked down, they found out that a part of the area was submerged in water. John took a paddle and started moving the boat until the boat finally hit a dry road. Everyone got off the boat and saw that the city seemed completely deserted. They saw some people on the street, so they started following them and reached a place where people were trying to survive somehow. John saw that many of them seemed sick. That's why they won't be able to survive for many days. John's group heard screaming sounds. Following the sounds, they saw a crowd. Many people were making noise outside a bunker. While some soldiers were guarding that bunker, Adam ran towards the gate and started telling that we are government officials from Greenland station. Let us go inside. On this, the soldier said, "Show your ID." But only Allison had an ID and she didn't want to go inside, leaving her family. Adam started arguing with the soldiers while the crowd became even angrier. Suddenly, a soldier shot at him. When another person standing in the crowd tried to enter by force, he was also shot. The soldiers closed the gate and the alarm started ringing. At that very moment, a storm coming in the sky appeared and the crowd got scared and started running. Amina and Jay's family stopped a van and asked the driver to take them to London, but the driver started demanding payment, for which John gave him his watch. After which the driver agreed and the vehicle sped out of the city at high speed. They escaped the storm in time. Allison was hugging Nathan and consoling him that everything will be fine, while Amina was very sad for Adam. The driver told that people have become so desperate that they will kill anyone for food. A few hours later, the van stopped for a while in the middle of the forest. Then John asked the driver, "Do you know anything about the situation in France?" But the driver started saying that that area is very dangerous, and that talk about the asteroid craters seems false to me, that there is very good land there, water, everything. Suddenly, they heard a strange sound, so they saw that many pieces of the asteroid were still falling from the sky. All the people quickly grabbed the trees so that they wouldn't fly away with the wind. But then that driver started saying that that van is my everything. He ran to save his van. But during this, pieces started falling on the ground, and one of them destroyed both the driver and the van. When this rain of pieces ended, our 4 surviving people took out their bags and whatever useful things they could find from the van, and now continued the rest of the journey on foot. Finally, they reached London and started knocking on the door of a very big building. The door opened, but suddenly a woman named Mackenzie pointed a gun at them. But coincidentally, these people were Mackenzie's old friends. She immediately lowered the gun and let them come inside. Then she showed them around inside the building and told that this building is a retirement home. That's why all the people living here are elderly. Mackenzie told that I have sealed the entire building, and with the help of some solar panels, a generator is running. It keeps cleaning the air. Everyone ate food and drink and started talking a lot. John now asked Mackenzie about those deep craters in France. Mackenzie said that I have heard rumors, but I don't know if it's true or not. Later, Allison was trying to sleep, but how could she sleep? John was coughing repeatedly in the bathroom. When he looked in the sink, he saw blood. John tried very hard to avoid it, but Allison said, "Tell the truth, please." So John finally revealed his secret. He started saying that a doctor in the bunker had told me that when blood starts coming, there are only 6 to 8 weeks left to live. Hearing this, Allison completely broke down. She started saying, "Let's stay here for 2 months. Spend your last days in peace."
But John said, "I'm not going to die here. I will take you and our sons safely to France. Only after finding a new home for you there will I be able to die peacefully." The next day, Mackenzie handed them an old car standing in the retirement home so that they could reach their place safely. She also put a gun in John's hands so he could protect himself and his family. Mackenzie hugged them one last time, and then the 4 of them left from there. A few hours later, when they were passing through the edge of the city, John saw that Nathan seemed sad, and they started talking to each other and playing some game. And then, suddenly a bullet broke through the window and hit Amina directly, who died on the spot. Some men hiding in the bushes kept firing bullets at them continuously, but they didn't target the engine because their motive was to steal the car. John immediately took position behind the car and started firing bullets in response. As the looters came closer, John shot them down one by one. Now only 1 man was left, but John's bullets ran out. But Allison had another gun, and she shot the last man before he could harm them. After consoling each other, they together dug a hole and buried Amina. John started saying a prayer, saying goodbye to his friend, which Nathan listened to very carefully. A few hours later, the family reached a large desert area. They understood that this place is the sea that used to be between England and France. The water had receded from here, so at least they wouldn't need a boat. On the way, they found many ships lying around. Going a little further, they saw some people. Looking a little, they found out that there is a very big crack in the middle of the ground, and they have to go to the other side of this crack. To reach here, they would have to cross a dangerous bridge made of ropes. Seeing this, Nathan got very scared and started saying, "I'm not going there." Then John went first, encouraging him. The whole family started crossing the rope very slowly and carefully. When John suddenly coughed, he almost slipped, but he immediately steadied himself. Just then, suddenly very strong winds started blowing, and the wind shook the bridge hard. But still, everyone somehow kept themselves safe. Luckily, the wind stopped quickly, and the family kept moving forward and reached a rock in the middle. From there, 2 stairs were going to the other side. They had just reached the middle of the stairs. Suddenly, a powerful earthquake came. Luckily, none of the 3 fell. They were just about to move forward when suddenly a second earthquake came. This time, the rocks on both sides started breaking. Soon, that bridge made of ropes also broke. Many people fell down into the ravine and died. A man present on the second staircase got scared seeing this, and he quickly pushed the man in front of him into the ravine to reach the other side. But then that entire staircase started slipping. That's why that man jumped onto Nathan. Along with this, the second staircase fell down into the ravine. The family held Nathan while that man slipped. Now they had no choice but to walk on foot. But no matter how much they walked, only a desolate land was visible. Just then, suddenly they heard the sound of gunfire, and they saw a man named Dennis pointing a gun at them. But he lowered the gun when he realized that these people are not looters. He took them straight to his house. In just a while, John and his family reached France. Dennis was currently living in an old factory, which he powered with a car engine. Dennis introduced them to his daughter Camille and wife. His wife had been badly affected by radiation. She was in a wheelchair and couldn't speak either.
During dinner, Dennis found out that John's family wants to reach the craters formed by the asteroid. He warned them that that area will be very dangerous. From all sides, people will be killing each other to capture the crater.
Meanwhile, Camille took Nathan to her room and started showing him all her cool things. In return, Nathan also showed her his bedsheet with holes in which stars appear in the sky when a torch is shined under it. The next morning, Dennis gave John a map and started showing him the least dangerous route on it. He also told the name of an old friend of his in the army who is now in a big post. He also gave John an old photo of his with his friend so they could prove that they know Dennis. Maybe they would get help. Suddenly, Dennis made a request to John with tears. "Can you people also take Camille with you? He himself wants to take his daughter to that crater, but he has to stay here and take care of his wife." John hesitated a bit, but Allison immediately agreed. After this, Camille said goodbye to her parents and set out with John's family sitting in Dennis's van. After driving the car for a few hours, Allison noticed that the children's mood was bad. That's why they decided to stop and take a break. Then, John played a game with the children, which improved the mood a bit. Just then, suddenly, they saw some vehicles on the road, and many soldiers surrounded them. Camille took the name of her father's general friend and convinced the soldiers to help them cross the area. By night, they reached a battlefield where the army was fighting with some people. A soldier took them from behind so they could pass through the forest without anyone's notice. When an explosion happened near them, they had to stop. But soon they started moving again and then crossed some wires and reached an even more dangerous area. Now they had to run as fast as possible to avoid bullets and explosions. People were dying everywhere, and then the family saw a man in flames. Then the soldier with them called the bunker and told that I have civilians with me, and some other soldiers told them to keep moving forward. As much as possible, they kept giving them cover. They kept moving forward and reached a tunnel prepared for war where John started coughing badly and almost fell down. Passing through inside the tunnel, they found many dead bodies. Finally, they reached a staircase, and the soldier who came with them sent them into the forest, saying, "Just keep walking straight until you find the camp." When morning came, they finally reached the military camp. Camille pointed to some mountains that weren't there before, and John calculated that they had come very close to their destination. When they asked a soldier about Dennis's friend, they found out that he had died, and now these soldiers are not interested in helping them. So John told them that I have only a few days left. Brother, I just want to save my family. A man took pity on them and gave them a place in his bus. John's family and some other people got on the bus, which would take them to their destination. But on the way itself, the journey stopped due to an explosion. Suddenly, the bus was surrounded by some looters. For this, a soldier came out and started fighting, but the looters immediately shot him. Then a villain also killed the driver and forced everyone to get off the bus. John sent his family outside, but stayed behind himself so he could pounce on that looter. Hearing the sound when another looter from outside tried to go inside, one of the passengers hit him on the head with a stone. Just then, the sound of 2 bullets being fired came from inside the bus. John came out holding a gun in his hand, and everyone became happy. But John had also been shot. Everyone sat in the bus. Nathan kept pressure on John's wound, while Allison drove the bus. In just a while, they reached the top of a newly formed mountain, and the family kept walking, supporting John, until they could see their destination. All the rumors turned out to be true. This crater formed by the asteroid was a very beautiful place, where there was fertile land. There was no pollution. This is a great place to start a new life. At that very moment, John fell down, and his family surrounded him from all sides to say goodbye one last time before his death. Everyone started crying bitterly at John's death, and finally, Nathan recited the same prayer for his father that he had heard before.
If you liked the movie, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos. See you in the next video.